Everyone, welcome once again to another insightful tutorial on this channel, and today we'll be learning how to make this reversible crop top. And to do this, of course, we'll need our basic bodice pattern and likewise our sleeve pattern. And as usual, I draft my bodice this way, and on the other side we'll be having the sleeve pattern, and I've gone ahead to transfer this way. The sleeve I actually transfer up to elbow length, not the wrist, like so. And for the bodies, I've transferred both front and back pattern this way, which is actually the same pattern with the main pattern. And if you are yet to learn how to go about drafting your basic bodice pattern using Lapery's simplified and professional method, the link is already in the description box below. Once you are able to draft your pattern like this, you'll be using this same pattern to produce multiple designs. This is what I've been using producing my designs for myself. So I simply put my basic bodice pattern aside. We'll be working with the working paper. The white paper is our working paper to fabricate the design at hand. But before we go into the main class, I would love to appreciate everyone who has subscribed to this channel. And if you are yet to subscribe, or today is your first time on this channel, this is Lapery College of Fashion YouTube sewing channel, where we upload detailed sewing tutorials on pattern drafting. I would love you to be part of this family. Please subscribe and be part of us. And as you are subscribing, always hit that notification bell. It tells you or notifies you each time I drop new video on this channel. You may also join our Facebook group at Cut and Sew with Lapery, and also follow us on Instagram at Lapery Online Tutorials and Lapery College of Fashion. So back to the main tutorial for today now. Here are our basic bodice patterns, which we need to extend, because making it this actual length might not really come down, sit properly. So for me, I would like to extend both the back and front by 2 inches. So I'll simply be adding paper this way to extend both the front and back by 2 inches, so that it sits properly, is long enough, so that even if I raise up my hand, my belly button is not showing. So I'm done with the extension. This that I've done is actually optional. If you are comfortable with your back length and your front length as the length of your crop top, you are good to go. Then you ignore this that I've done. But I actually want it to go down. So this is what I'll be having, and of course I'll need to extend my dart leg. But in the extension of my dart leg now, I will not just be going straight on. If I do like this, if I straighten it here, the circumference of this place might not relax. So what I'll do is, from this point, it should reduce inward. And what will guide me to be this my dart. So all I'll just do is flip it backwards this way, and I'll be using my tracing wheel to trace out the main waist dart, so which reflect on it, and that will guide me to be able to place it properly. So this is what I'll be having. Let me use another pen to highlight it. So this is my dart, and likewise I'll do that of the back. Having extended my dart, we also need to impute the waist shaping that we are having on the main body here. Since it's cropped, so we were treating it like a blouse with waist seam, and of course our waist shaping will be necessary. So I'll transfer my waist shaping down here, both on front and back, like so, half inch shaping at the side, and we'll be making use of it. So I'll go ahead now to cut the waist shaping. So now I'm done. All this that I've done is necessary because I actually wanted to extend the length of my front length and back neck to come longer. If not, you wouldn't go through all of this. Instead, you will have just done your waist shaping both on front and back like so. You just be working with the white paper. So with that, now we'll now start the main drafting of the design at hand. And of course, this is an off shoulder, in the sense that the main body of the garment is not starting from the shoulder line. It's only hanging on the body with the help of the strap of the sleeve. Take a good look at the picture once again. This is classified as an off shoulder. It's only with the strap of the sleeve that the garment is hanging on the body. And as such, we'll not be doing our shoulder to shoulder and doing neck width and neck depth. So instead now, I'll take my sleeve pattern, which I'll be using to draft the off shoulder strap, and I'll be cutting it into two. And I'll go ahead to attack the front piece with the front pattern and the back piece with the back pattern to draft our off shoulder. So let me start with the front piece like so. I'll just place it, and because of the opening, I need to place on another paper to fill up this region. So here we are. The opening had already been filled up. So the next thing is now to do our neck style line. And of course, how will I be able to determine my neck depth? It's best for me to use my bust radius. So I need to locate my under bust line. Then the measurement from the under bust to my apex is my bust radius, which I'll be using upwards. So for this measurement, so for this, the under bust line is 14 this way, and I'll simply square across the pattern like so. And now the radius will be giving me 3/3 like so, 3/3. So I'll be coming upwards from that apex 3/3 this way. And of course, if I really want it to cover up, I'll need to come up again by 1, which I'll be using. So here is the best location of my neck depth, except you actually want it reviewed. So here is it now. And of course, looking at the design again, the strap is actually around this region starting here. So I will just simply come outward by 1 inch to draw out the strap. And of course, I'll reshape my armhole to use my French curve, reshaping my armhole and doing that of the sleeve armhole like so. I'll go ahead now and cut off the neck and separating the body from the sleeve. So here we are. I'll simply remove this. So here's the main body and this is the sleeve. So the next thing we now need to do is to now start working on the design. And that for the design from the under bust, the seam is not straight. It's slightly curved upwards like this, more like an empire shape. And of course, there's fullness here, excesses, not as much as what we have at the underbone. So I need to first transfer this my side dart to the neckline where we have fullness. You may join our paid class on dart manipulation to have an idea of how you go about stuff like this, your dart manipulation. So having transferred, I'll secure it with tape. Then I'll be drawing my style line this way, slightly curved upwards like so. Then I can go ahead now to cut that region. So here is the upper part, here's the lower part. Let me label it properly. This is up and this is down. Then now go ahead to panel here, removing the darts. So with this proper labeling, we'll know how to go about it. And here will be unfold. So I put my unfold symbol. So we are done with the lower part. And for this upper part, there's fullness here too. So that means my darts will remain. So instead of this dart being constructed, we'll just turn it to small pleats or gathers here. So this is what I'll have. So I'll simply wipe it off to create the excess. So having done this now, we now need to create more fullness. This fullness that we have here is not enough. So I'll be drawing slash lines and creating more fullness at this neck region. So I'll draw my slash lines like so. Then even here, I can still further draw it like this. Then I'll number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll slash and spread. So I'm going ahead to slash and spread. So I'll just simply fine tune this end and cut out the pattern. So I'm simply done with the patterns for the front. This is the upper part, and here are those of the lower parts, and here is the sleeve. We are still going to finalize the sleeve after we are done with the back. So for the back piece, we'll be doing the same thing, attaching the sleeve pattern this way, filling up this region, then determine our neck depth during the style line, like so. So here is that of the back, so I'll simply cut it out. So here we are with the back piece, the main body and the sleeve cut out this way. So the next thing we need to do will be to panel the back piece, and for the back piece we'll not be using the center back tightening as well, since we have done the waist shaping. So I'll simply panel, and as I panel, I'll be cutting off the darts. So here's my center back, here is inseam for proper joining. Then we'll cut it out. So we are done. So for the sleeve now, we do not really need to attach both front and back, or because we are still going to be paneling to give it the volume. So I'll simply slash, slash, slash and spread. And while spreading, I'll be adding more fullness to the upper part than this lower part. That's the effect I want. It's possible that you do yours, you spread all the way through. So let me label and do the proper spreading. So this is what we'll be having after slashing and spreading, and I did not add too much fullness to the hem, but added more to this upper part. So here is now the outline, but because of the puff effect that we are now having, we'll still need to extend the height slightly. I wouldn't just connect this way. This might still work, but it will not really come upward. So for you to have that puffy effect coming upward, raising up, I'll need to add up something like this. I could be going upwards maybe about 4 inches or 5, thereabouts this way. So let me quickly do that, then I'll cut out to have my final pattern. So this is now the final outcome of our sleeve, and with this we are done with all the patterns that we need to produce the style at hand. Here is that of the front, upper and lower part, and here is that of the back piece, the center piece and the side piece. So simply go ahead now to place on fabric, and since it's reversible, I'll be making use of 2 different fabrics. I'll be making use of this, my Ankara print, and I'll be making use of the satin. But for the front part, So for the front part, this will be white. I'll be using this cotton fabric for that region, both for this piece and for the other side. So here we are with the patterns already placed on fabric, and I've gone ahead to cut the two sets. The first set are the Ankara fabric for each of the pattern, while the other set is the satin. So I'm done with that of the back, and this is the lower part of the front. First set Ankara, the other set the satin, and likewise for this center piece of the lower part. And here is the upper part of the front. This is the plain polished fabric, while this is white satin. This wasn't enough to serve for the two, so this is white satin fabric for the upper part. And when it comes to sewing, we'll be joining this first, then we'll be attaching this like so. Then here we'll be disposing with gathers. And here is our sleeve part. The two sets have been cut likewise. The first set, the Ankara and the satin, and I've gone ahead to notch. This notching signifies the front part. By the time we are attaching it with the body, this is the front part, while this will be the back, which does not have any notching, just to differentiate. And here is the center point. Now the only thing we are left with is we didn't measure the pattern, the sleeve pattern, before slashing and spreading, and that's measurement that will help us to control. Because with this now, I wouldn't know how to control this. What length will I be controlling this region, so that it's not too small or it's not too long, that it will not be falling over. So what I'll simply do will be to measure the exact thing I have on this white pattern, not the fullness. So I'll be taking what I have here. This is just about 3/8. So I'll add it up. This is my 3/8, just trying to get the figure again. Adding it up, I'm having 1 5/8. I'll add it up to this 3 1/8, just like that. We're supposed to have measured. This is 5. This is 6 1/2, 8. This is 9 5/8. Then I'll be measuring this. Okay, 9 5/8 is all that I have here without the slashing. So when you are doing yours, before you slash, first and foremost measure what you have on the sleeve region. This is 9 3/4, rather 9 3/4. So I need to cut this. This is the length of the strap that I'll be cutting out. So let me quickly measure that. 9 3/4, like so. You may cut out as a pattern on its own, and you might simply just note the figure to draft, to be able to cut the strip of fabric that you'll be using to pipe that end. So here we are now, and I'm cutting about 1 1/4 as the width, or you could do as much as 1 1/2. Let me make it 1 1/2, so that it's a lot easier to pipe without having to be struggling with seats and achieve a neat finishing. So this is the pattern for the band, piping, to control and dispose this region. So I'll simply cut it out and cut it out on fabric. So now we are done with the cutting of all the patterns on fabric. So we go over to the sewing machine and start joining all the pieces together. So far so good. This is what we've been able to make out of the sewing. Here is the upper part of the front, and I've gone ahead to turn to do the sewing of this upper part. And this center front will be having a little opening, so I'll just simply open it slightly, probably about 3 inches, like so, and I'll be running stitches here to encase an elastic that will make it to grip, and a rope will actually be inserted here to fasten the two ends together. And here is the lower part as well, prepared from our pattern. This is the center piece and the side piece, and I've gone ahead to do the sewing of the center piece and the side pieces. And here is the other side, since it's going to be reversible like that. So this is the lower part. I'll be running our loose stitches here this way, and we'll be controlling this with elastic. That's for the front. And for the back piece, this is how far we've gone with the sewing. From our pattern now, we'll join the center piece and side pieces together. And here is that of the other side, the satin, and I've sewn the neckline this way. So any form of excess will be trimmed to still make the two pieces equal, like so. So for the sleeve as well, the first thing we need to do will be to sew this end, the hemline, and afterwards we'll be spreading it out this way on the wrong side, and we'll be running stitches here because we want to make it reversible. So we'll be running stitches like so, which I've already done on this particular one. I haven't sewn the hemline. Then we'll be sewing the side seam this way. Press open, and by the time it's sewn, you have it reversible this way. This for one side, and by the time you won't turn it inside out again, you have it well finished on the other side like so. So we go ahead now to complete the sewing, installing our zipper, and this end now will actually be finished up with this. And also I'll be encasing this region somewhere here, maybe about 6 inches from the hemline. There will be an elastic as well inserted here to actually make this end to be firm onto the body like so. And here we'll be controlling with this. So let's quickly finish up the sewing. So far so good. Once again, here we are with the sewing. This is the back piece, and we have made it reversible. I could wear this side as well as this other side. I couldn't get a reversible zipper, so I'll be making use of this, so that the teeth of the zipper on this side is also the same thing as what I have here. Only the zipper holder is different. So here is my back piece, and here is the front piece already prepared this way. This is one side, and here is the other side, such that if I want to wear this side, so this now becomes the back piece this way, the black satin, and here's the right side. And if I want to wear this now is the front piece, while this is the back piece, like so. So this is what we have. And for the sleeve, I've gone ahead to prepare this. The elastic has been inserted here into the casing here. So this is one side, and by the time I turn it inside out, here is the other side this way. So that if I'm wearing this, this is the sleeve, and if we're to wear this other side, the sleeve will be this side like so. But for the piping of the sleeve, I'm making do with this white. And for one to achieve it, I'll have to make sure that it does not have right side or wrong side. So I'll make sure I actually push this down with the help of my finger and fold this on top. And when I'm doing the sewing, I'm not going to be sewing at the tip. I'll just be sewing about 1/8 inward, so that it will actually hold the one underneath, and I'll just run it all the way. How did I prepare the sleeve? This is the other side, which I'm yet to do. I've done my casing here, and here is my elastic, and I left a little opening here. So from that opening, I'll insert the elastic like so all round, like I'm doing, easily like that, and I'll be able to pull out afterwards. And for this, the net piece, for this region, here is my strip of fabric folded into two, not the center, and from here I left a spacing of about 3 inches, which will be the start of the disposal of fullness, and it will end here, so that when I start, I'll start off like this straight on. From here I'll begin to dispose like that, this region. So that's how to go about it. So let me quickly finish up. So we are finally done with the making of our reversible crop top. And here is one side, which is the Ankara side. Here is the other side, which is that of the satin. This way. So I can actually wear any of the two sides, and it has been finished neatly. Can you see the armhole well finished, and the piping of the sleeve, you can see both sides are also well finished, like so. So that is it, well finished. I was able to achieve the neat finishing through this opening. Can you see? So I have little opening through which I was able to turn the garment inside out. And to close up this, I'll simply be using my hand needle and thread to close it up, or you probably put hemming gun, black hemming gun, and just press it down. So that is it. I've already produced similar designs for clients in sizes. This is size 14, and everything neatly finished like so. You can see here is the size 8 of it. So you can actually go about producing your pattern for your ready to wear designs like so. Neatly finished. And this was what even gave me the concept of the reversible that I did for myself. We have come to the end of today's tutorial. If this video has been helpful as usual, kindly give it a thumbs up, and for more insight to your dart manipulation and the sleeve and every other fundamental class, we have paid classes that you could be part of. Until my next video, thank you for watching. Bye.
Lapery College of Fashion, raising professionals.